Hello, and welcome back to this month's installment of Leadership Live, where I host candid discussions with industry leaders on the intersection of business and technology. I'm Christine Middleton from Zoho for Enterprise, and joining me today is Shivani Agarwal, Head of IT Infrastructure, Security, and Enterprise Services at McLane Company Incorporated, one of the largest supply chain distribution centers in the United States with over 50 billion in revenue. She is responsible for IT infrastructure across all McLean distribution centers, data centers, and facilities. She also specializes in information security, enterprise architecture, and IT operations and services. Let's welcome her now.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for inviting me to this forum.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, I'm excited to share about this topic and very passionate about it. I don't know if you want me to, uh, get going. I want to just talk a little bit.
Yeah, if you could share a couple of, lines on your experience on our topic today, that would be great.
Sure. I've been in information technology for all of my professional career and been very fortunate that I've worked for employers and managers who gave me the freedom to explore and therefore gain experience in all aspects of technology, right? So I went from a hands-on practitioner to frontline manager to my current role. And throughout this journey, I have seen cybersecurity go from non-existent in IT to now having C-level and boardroom presence, right, for security professionals.
Absolutely.
That's very exciting. My current responsibility includes all dimensions of IT security for McLean, and I learn from my team every day about how it's getting more and more critical. Cybersecurity is so critical to running a business, any business, right? So learn from them. Hopefully, I'll learn a lot from the audience who's joining us today through their comments and feedback.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, cybersecurity is an ever evolving topic. I mean, as you said, it was pretty much non-existent, and now it's everywhere. It's permeated through all realms of IT and technology, in essence, So this is definitely a very interesting topic, and I would love to hear your insights on what you can share with us. So with that being said, let's get right into it. The first question I have for you today is, what challenges do organizations commonly face when transitioning to a risk-based cybersecurity approach, and how can they overcome them?
Yeah, traditionally, how most organizations have approached cybersecurity is, I would call it capability based, right? And the leaders will do a SWOT analysis of the team's capabilities and see where there's opportunity to strengthen or build up that capability, right? So let's say the focus is, let's build a SOC, a security operations center, or let's build a phishing test program. So that's really good approach if you are into building a program or doing a project management.
Right.
Where I see the disadvantage with that is you get into a mode of building everything, strengthening everything, and governing everything. And the assessment that the organization did was the existing capability. The assessment wasn't done on what is the existing risk. And
Right.
so the risk-based assessment, really, the very first premise is, and the reality is that not all risks are equal. They don't carry the equal amount of weight or risk to one organization. So my point is the better approach is to measure or assess and rank the risks, whatever the risk is to your organization, and address the highest areas first. And then we're all challenged with the dollars, the budget dollars. And so when you do this risk-based assessment and you focus on the highest risk, you can funnel your hard to come by dollars to the right place. You asked about the challenge about transitioning to or using or moving to this risk-based cybersecurity approach. I would say it is not any different than any transformational challenge, like any change is hard.
Hmm. Yeah.
uh, we think about change to our existing processes, to our existing cadence as a failure of our current ways.
Mm.
And therefore, people then resist any change. Change should not be treated as a discrete or a separate effort. It should really be treated as a continuum that it is. And
Mm.
then, what happens is if people are going to resist the change in strategy, then they're not going to adopt it. If they don't adopt it, then your change isn't successful. So I think the very first step should be to define the value of the new ways of thinking. Cybersecurity risk or cyber risk landscape is changing, evolving continually, and we need to have a strategy that allows us to be flexible, that we can be agile, we can turn with the wave that we see in the industry.
Right.
And the adoption of risk-based approach, it helps us to continually adapt to the face of evolving cyber threats. And it prioritizes risk reduction as the primary goal. And I think that'll be hard for people to challenge and then maybe easier to adopt. And I would say the other challenge, uh, again, just like any transformation, is how do you go about implementing it?
Hmm.
So, adoption of a robust framework gives you the scaffolding you need to put this initiative into implementation mode, right? You start with an assessment of the attack surface. What is the exposure? What is the importance? What's your security posture? Understand organizations' vulnerabilities, as I said earlier, and then rank them, understand your threat actors, and then you rank them. You get to a derived risk meter, risk register, and now you can start to tackle this based on the priority of the highest risk. And now you can take that capability based approach that you have to actually put those programs into effect, right? That you use now for project management, whatever you need to do, whether it's to build bench strength, whether it's to get a partner, whether it's to implement a robust tool, whatever solution is needed to address the risk.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like the risk-based approach or assessment is very viable because that'll also help each company know what to prioritize and what they need to focus on initially. Kind of like rank it down, so what needs to be taken care of first versus after that. And it's a very tailored process in that sense because it varies from company to company. What might be a risk in one company may be only like a second or third tier problem in another. So I guess that also helps with understanding where your priority is in the company as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then share the success stories as you go priority by priority with your executive leadership, with your board. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. So moving on to the next one, how do you recommend organizations balance the need for innovation with the imperative of maintaining strong cybersecurity measures?
Oh, wow, Christine, that is you hear this so often, right?
Yeah.
Uh, the security measures and maintaining security hygiene. How many times, I mean, people hear it that as it's a blocker to the speed, the speed for innovation, the time to market, the competitive edge. These
Right.
are all thrown at the infosec and cybersecurity personnel as the like seemingly justifiable reasons not to have security practice and security hygiene. And we have to change that. I mean, it is imperative that everybody, business, developers, IT, executives, everybody understands that there's like an exponential difference between a functionality hole and a security hole.
Right.
Uh, the latter, the security hole, can close your business down for unforeseeable amount of time.
Hmm.
And then all that need for speed will really come to a grinding halt.
Right.
you know uh, on the flip side, I mean, I want to say that security professionals, we may be creating so many policies and controls that it's making it difficult for the developers to build secure code in an easy way,
Right.
and keep up with the demands of the customers. And so really I want to there's a principle, it's called secure by design.
Mm-hmm.
And this means that you develop your software and hardware with security in mind.
Right.
You keep security in mind throughout the software development lifecycle, throughout the SDLC. You have continuous testing, you build authentication safeguards, you have good logging hygiene, you adhere to best practices. Very similar to how QA evolved into SDET, right? Secure software development
Right.
engineering
Yeah.
shifted. Everything was done early on. The same thing must happen for security. Make it part of development practice. Um, Yesterday, CISA and FBI released a joint Secure by Design alert. They talk about eliminating SQL injection vulnerabilities in software. Actually, CISA has a website page dedicated to the Secure by Design. So this is something that uh, organizations as large as CISA are recommending and influencing for all industries to practice. Recent cyber incidents show you just how much of a havoc security incident can cause to the business. Like MGM breach that happened in October 2023,
Yeah.
where somebody called help desk via social engineering, got password to an admin account, but that one little act uh, caused MGM to lose over $100 million, right, and lost revenue and disruption to the casinos and customers. The Lurie Children's Hospital, where the ransomware breach happened, and the hackers demanded $3.4 million,
Mm-hmm.
and the hospital is still trying to restore data, right? Not just businesses, but entire cities have been impacted by recent attacks.
Right.
So there was a statistic that was I saw it on the website. Recently, when March 20th, when Jacksonville Beach reported that incident, it was the 21st U.S. municipality to announce a crippling cybersecurity attack. So it is critical that we secure the business so that there is a business to run.
Yeah.
Innovation will keep business growing, but you got to secure it, because otherwise there may not be a business to grow.
Absolutely.
Simple practice of secure design and development will help any business.
Yeah, certain protocols have to be followed out because given how vast and how susceptible security systems are, I mean, there are so many things that can happen that can be prevented beforehand if possible. Um, as you said, to avoid a company from screeching to a grinding halt. Um, so, moving on to the last question, I wanted to know what emerging trends or technology do you see shaping the future of risk-based cybersecurity management?
Yeah, the level of uh, activities and the threat from these activities has really ratcheted up in recent times. If you look at the reports and alerts from CISA, right, these activities are growing. And these are not hackers working out of their parents' basement, right? These are nation states and state sponsored agents who are
Right.
constantly probing to find ways to get in and then wreak havoc. Um, it reminds me of a book, and I'll get to the trends, that was written by Nicole Polroth in 2021, and I feel like it's becoming more and more relevant. The book is called This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends. And
Mm,
I refer to it like no matter what you determine your risk profile for your business and rank as the highest, one thing is very clear, and that is the trend. Easiest way for a threat actor to get in is to find the credentials, the login password to
yeah.
access the network. After that, I mean, they can stay dormant in your environment. They can hunt for privileged access information, move across your environment, right? Whatever they decide, once they're in, they're in.
Right.
Uh, Employees are our greatest assets. And as human beings, they're also most prone to the social engineering aspect. So,
Mhm.
knowingly or unknowingly, people who have access to your network can also give away the keys to the kingdom to the bad actors. Um, I read that Alphabet's venture capital fund, Capital G, is investing $50 million in an insider risk company called BTech Systems, right? Why it matters and why I bring it up here is that insider risk is becoming the next big cybersecurity market, and it is the most critical to secure.
Yeah.
So training your people, making sure that they're not falling for the traps of social engineering, closing down on and governing privileged access, and having policies and all, they're really imperative. The other, I would say, emerging trend is generative AI, of course, right? It's a powerful force that's shaping just every aspect of technology, cybersecurity and cyber attacks included. Uh, while there's companies are building using generative AI to have cyber defense, the hackers are using it to find better ways to, more improved ways to actually have cyber attacks. Um, so about 70% of the CISOs fear that generative AI will give cyber attackers the upper hand. That's really the the next frontier, I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, these two, I want to say, are the top two most emerging trends where cyber technologies are or will be focused.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Christy.
I would like to thank all of you once again for joining us for this session of Leadership Live, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you once again, and have a good rest of your week.